the worst aspects of the internet and really the video game community as a whole has to be the fanboys. Now, I'm not talking about people who just have one system because that's all they can afford, so they're only interested in the games available for that system. I'm not talking about people that just have a genuine preference for whatever reason and focus on the one system that they have or on one system over another. No. That's all fine. That's all normal. I have different genres of music that I like over other genres of music, so I tend to focus on those genres. I'm talking about the people that constantly engage in these wars on Twitter and these wars on YouTube, these wars on the internet. My console's better than yours. Xbox is better than PlayStation. Nintendo's better than PlayStation. PlayStation's better than everyone. And it's like these people are simping for a piece of plastic. They can't see past the fog in the woods to see any sorts of problems with these systems, and they just live and die by it. They act like the system, the company is paying them to go on Twitter and champion for them and say that everything is okay and only talk about good and positive things. Now, you could say that I'm sort of a Nintendo-centric based channel, but I mean, I'm still, even if that is the case, even if you want to call me a Nintendo YouTuber, I'm one of the few Nintendo YouTubers where if there's something bad with Nintendo or something I think is stupid, I'm going to say whatever I want because they're not paying me. What do I care? It's just my opinion at the end of the day. Now, recently, our British friend MBG made a thing talking about end the console wars. They're stupid, this, that, and the other. I don't know, man. I didn't watch the video because, you know, I can't really listen to the British tell me about wars. I mean, let's just look at your history there, bucko. But jokes aside, you know, it's a good message that the console wars are stupid. And the problem is that when you approach a console fanboy on a specific console, whether it be an Xbox, a Nintendo, or a PlayStation, and you give them definitive proof, you give them definitive proof of a problem, definitive proof of a situation, they just cower in fear. They say, no, it's not the case. This is the reason why, blah, blah, blah. They're not able to open up their minds for criticism. Of course, there's been tons of talk, tons of back and forth with this whole Activision Microsoft acquisition. It's been very petty, really on both sides of the coin here. I don't really have a favorite here in the situation. I understand why Microsoft purchased Activision. They can afford it. They can use this company within them. Sony is acting like a freaking baby with this. Like, no, you can't buy them because then Call of Duty won't be on our system, this, that, or the other, which is stupid. Sony fanboys should be embarrassed about that. That Jim Ryan honestly feels like they can't make games to pretty much, you know, go up against Call of Duty when you have franchises that are available that you have not used that are exclusive PlayStation franchises. Games such as Killzone, games such as Resistance, games such as SOCOM that you could easily make and build to be a prominent video game franchise. No. They just want to coast on Easy Street with this whole Call of Duty thing. Of course, Microsoft has been pretty tactful in their retorts, but something happened today in an article written by gamesindustry.biz that really just states the position of Microsoft, the position of the Xbox brand in 2022 and beyond, because there's been a problem with Xbox for nearly a decade now. And it's not something that you can really just blanket statement, but it kind of is. And that is the lack of exclusive games. Now, you could sit there and say things like, well, Microsoft, you know, they got really highly rated games with Microsoft Flight Simulator, Grounded, you know, stuff like that. And to that I say, those are niche games. I'm talking about the big blockbuster games, the reasons why people will want to pick up an Xbox. Because when you boil it down, everyone loves exclusives for their system. That's why you gravitate towards a system. When you're talking about a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, you go towards the system with the games that you want to play. Same thing with the Nintendo Switch. Like, if you want to play Mario, you buy a Nintendo. You want to play some, you know, Last of Us, you buy a PlayStation. It's a simple thought process that's been around for many years now. But I've always heard that, you know, Xbox has all these great games and, you know, they're still making all these great games and this, that, and the other. But within this gamesindustry.biz article, Microsoft pretty much admitted exactly what a lot of people have been saying, So Microsoft has been essentially responding to what Sony has been saying about how it's not fair, and really there is no winner in this situation. They both look like babies. The suggestion that the incumbent market leader, with clear and enduring market power, could be foreclosed by the third largest provider as a result of losing access to one title is not credible. I agree with that. If every Call of Duty player on Sony's console would switch to Xbox, the PlayStation gamer base remaining would be significantly larger than Xbox. Microsoft also talked about the level of content available on Sony's platform, pointing out that some of Sony's recent but significantly smaller acquisitions, the company says that there were over 280 first and third-party exclusive titles on PlayStation in 2021, which was nearly 5 times as many as Xbox. Now, you can read all this back and forth if you genuinely care about the whole Call of Duty thing. I don't really care. This doesn't have anything to do with me. Call of Duty is fine. I might check out the new one maybe when it goes on sale or something like that. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about that Microsoft basically just admitted that they have all of these studios. They have all of these companies that they've been purchasing, yet they still had 5 times less the amount of first party and third party exclusive games that PlayStation has. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing if the quality was there, but realistically, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, The Ascent, Grounded, like Scorn is coming out. Let me tell you about Scorn, okay? Scorn is a piece of shit. I've had many people that are reviewing this game. I'm trying to get my hands on a review copy for it. Scorn is an absolute turd of a game. It's not a good game. It's like a walking simulator. I've seen gameplay footage from the review copies of the games. Like, it's not a good game, but these fanboys, these Microsoft fanboys, I'm not going to name names. If you want to name names in the comments, feel free. I don't care. You can do whatever you want down there. But these Microsoft fanboys will sit there and just say, oh, well, Xbox has games. You just don't necessarily like the games. And it's like, well, no. This was just proved to be wrong. This was just proved. Microsoft themselves admit that they have a problem with games. Yet the fanboys, the people that are diehards for these systems, cannot admit that there's a problem with that. They cannot admit that Microsoft has a problem with producing games. And yes, I know, 2023, that's finally the year that Microsoft is going to turn the corner. That's finally the year that all the exclusive games are going to come. That's finally the year that Microsoft gets a boost in the right direction when it comes to exclusive games. I'm not talking about services. I'm not talking about things like Game Pass. I'm simply talking about exclusive games that are only available on an Xbox ecosystem that make people want to get into the Xbox ecosystem. That's the whole point. The games, services, and things like that. Yes, Game Pass is absolutely phenomenal. Yes, I play my Xbox a lot, but you can't sit there and tell me that it has the same level, the same quality of first-party exclusives that a Sony and a Nintendo has. You can't tell me that, because there has not been proof of that for nearly a decade. There's been some blips here and there. There's been some bright spots. I'm talking about being consistent. And if Microsoft themselves can admit that they don't have nearly the catalog of games that a company like Sony has, nearly the catalog of games when it comes to exclusive that PlayStation has, why can't fanboys admit that? Why do they try to shove things down your throat as this is the reason why Xbox is better? These games are good games, and if you don't think they're good games, you're an idiot. You're stupid. You don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe our British friend was right. Maybe it's time to end these console wars, at least during the 16-bit era. Like, you had different versions of the games. You had Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. You had Aladdin for the Sega Genesis. Aladdin for the Sega Genesis was head and shoulders above the stupid Super. You want to, okay, you're going to get in a fight. You want an apple or you want a sword? I'll wait. I'll wait for you to give me an answer. But if Microsoft is able to admit that they have been paltry with their game production, it's been paltry. If every single person that played Call of Duty exclusively on PlayStation moved over to Xbox, that PlayStation would still be the market leader in between those two consoles. Why can't you admit that, Xbox fanboys? Just be honest. Okay, every company has faults. Every company has faults. Every company has problems. I meant to say flaws and faults, but you know, we just said faults twice in a row. Whatever. Nintendo has a hardware problem. The hardware isn't powerful enough. PlayStation has a problem with all these damn remasters coming in at $70. Xbox has a problem with they still have not produced games. I think 2023 is going to be a great year for the system. But if it's not a great year, I think a lot of people are going to be tired of waiting. Basically, if Microsoft can admit their flaws, the fanboys can admit their flaws. And if they can't admit their flaws, then I don't know, man, they need to seek help or something. So let me know what you think of this. What do you think about Microsoft essentially saying, hey, we don't have the games library of something like Sony, yet the fanboys on the tweeters and on the YouTubes and stuff will have you thinking otherwise, because Grounded's great. Scorn is great. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well. This isn't console fanboy fodder. I'm sure he's a bad fodder. No, I'm sure that some Xbox people will get mad about this and maybe make a video about this. I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care. I'm simply relaying the information that Microsoft themselves said. If you can't swallow that pill, then you need to go to a doctor or something. Brain doctor, I don't know. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.